Hi, I'm Mike Rogers of the Revenue Group, the M&A detective. The other day I was talking to a first-time CEO of a young startup company. Business is doing really well, and that's wonderful and scary at the same time. Wonderful because his revenues are growing and he's optimistic and hopeful and things are looking great. Scary because he doesn't have all the answers and he's figuring out along the way. Because he doesn't have all the answers, he's not stopping his sales, he's figuring it out. He's comfortable and confident in his abilities, so he's proceeding. Eventually, the conversation turned to mergers and acquisitions. And he said that he's interested in doing acquisitions once he has a lot of cash. Now, does that make sense to you? It doesn't to me. And here's why. Here's a CEO who's aggressively pursuing a sales strategy, but not stopping. When he has obstacles, he figures out a way to overcome them. Yet when it comes to mergers and acquisitions, he creates obstacles that aren't even there. He determines that he has to have a lot of cash in order to make acquisitions. That's simply not true. You do not need a war chest of cash to do M&A. Now, part of his position is ignorance, and part of it is fear. Ignorance because he's not aware of all of the options available for financing an acquisition. There are several of them. And you don't have to know all of them. You may not be able to do all of them. Maybe you can only use one of those options, and I'll talk about those in a future blog post. But you can do one. And if you get familiar with them, what types they are and how they work, you can proceed. But that doesn't have to stop you from looking at acquisitions. Heck, an acquisition could even pay for itself. The other part is fear. Fear in that the process is overwhelming. I don't know where to begin. I'm not sure how to pay for it, and that's where that position comes in. When the reality is the deal itself will determine the financing. You can tailor the financing to the deal, just as you would tailor a sales engagement to the needs of a customer. So, this CEO was getting bogged down in the how as opposed to the why. Now the how is simply getting educated in the means to finance it, an acquisition. The why is the important part. The why is because it's the fastest way to grow. You may be a small company, you may be a young company, you may even be a startup, but you don't have to act like one. Big companies grow through acquisitions and strategic transactions all the time. You can too. You do not have to be big to act big. If you are currently exploring an acquisition, or maybe you've identified a company that seems interesting, or maybe you're thinking about some opportunities to acquire a company in the next 3 to 9 months, I invite you to download the free paper and find out how to uncover what the seller doesn't want you to know. Make your deal a great one. If you're thinking about buying another company or possibly selling your own and want to learn more about making your deal a great one, contact me for a complimentary, no obligation initial consultation to determine if I'm the right person to help you reach your goals. No matter what, you'll walk away from the meeting more confident about your future.